Snow White gets a modern makeover, but is this remake a fairy tale win or a royal disaster?
It was just recently released on March 21st, and Disney's Snow White is a live action musical reimagining of the original 1937 animated classic. The musical adventure revisits its timeless tale. It was a fresh take, however, it was a flop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally have not seen it. A lot in the trailer that I was unfortunately disappointed with. So
Yes.
I can see why it was a flop.
Yes. I was just going to say, I think the world would agree,
Yeah.
right? So let's take a quick look at some ratings and see what others are saying about it. And so there's really no words needed, right? Just a brief moment of silence.
It's devastating. I don't know.
Seriously, what happened? What happened?
You can basically see everybody everywhere that's nitpicking this new movie. So I'll just touch on it briefly. From what I understand, the new Snow White remake musical has faced such heavy criticism, as we can obviously see with those reviews, for many reasons. But one of the most significant complaints is its departure from the original story and characters.
Yeah.
There's a difference to, I'm going to change a few things in the movie to bring it up to time, as opposed to I'm changing a lot and it's not even the original film anymore. And many viewers felt the film saw those attempts to modernize or even reinvent the classic tale in ways that would detract from the charm and timelessness of the original. But they pointed out to awkward changes to characters, including Snow White, being portrayed as overly self-aware or too empowered, obviously is undermining, her innocence and purity. The musical numbers and the choreography has been described as uninspired or poorly integrated into the narrative.
The CGI really lacks cohesion, and it doesn't just mesh. It feels too awkward. I find it difficult to connect with her version of Snow White.
You are right.
Opting for CGI dwarfs feels like a major misstep, a real missed opportunity to showcase talented actors and bring more authenticity to the story, I think.
And it's sad.
Yeah. So ultimately, what has happened is the remake's attempt to appeal to contemporary audiences, I think. But it is seen by many as failing to capture the magic of the beloved classic. Yeah. That's where we went wrong. Well, not we. That's where they went wrong. First of all, the casting of the film starring Rachel Zegler, with a collaborative effort with Mark Webb, the director. Rachel's performance doesn't quite resonate with me. Her off-screen persona feels a bit overbearing, first of all, and that really does carry into the film, particularly in how her character relates to the dwarfs, right?
Yeah.
I think better decisions could have been made.
And don't get me wrong, even though I haven't seen the film, I heard the original song that they made for the film, for her big number and everything. Yeah. I heard it on my play, when I was listening to music. Do I love the song? Honestly, I like it. I get it. But if you stuck to the original storyline and how true and authentic she was to herself, that would have that song would have just made more sense, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But it's just,
yeah. I'm not down with that new song. Character evolution is just such a sensitive subject to begin with. Stories and events can change. They can be similar. Don't mess with the character. That's what makes this classic.
Absolutely.
Events change. It often opens up deeper backstories,
Mhm.
but a character's personality, I feel like, should never really be touched. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I talked to you about this briefly when we were, talking about this episode, but I remember seeing online somebody talking about how like Snow White is truly like a amazing powerhouse in herself, like classic Snow
Right.
White, classic Snow
Yes,
White, which is
yes.
like, to me, like his points were saying like how since she was noted as the fairest one of all,
Who is the fairest one of all?
she was, throughout the kingdom and all that stuff. She had the presence to walk into a room and make everyone calmer, make everyone happier, like just her presence in itself. And obviously, she is a loving character, but at the same time, from what I've seen, the clips and all that stuff, I feel like that was lost.
Yeah.
That was lost. So just the essence of one's soul of Snow White was, I feel, robbed.
Well,
in my
yeah,
opinion.
because now Snow White's no longer Snow White. She was the fairest of them all. That was
Yeah.
her title. And now with this remake, she has lost that title because her character's completely different. 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
True statement.
Yeah.
No truer statement.